Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. Now my short time here in Hong Kong has now come to an end. I'm now on my way to Seoul, South Korea. The flight time should be around 3.5 hours. Looking forward to it. Spurs face Newcastle on Sunday. So just waiting to board the plane, and I thought I'd take a few minutes to reflect on my time in Hong Kong. I've absolutely loved it. I've only been here for a couple of days. It has been a very, very quick visit. I couldn't have spent any longer here because of the Luton game was Saturday. So the earliest I could have flew out here was Sunday, which is exactly what I did. And of course, the training session in Seoul, South Korea takes place tomorrow. So I've got to leave today. But there is so many things I would like to have done in Hong Kong, and met some wonderful people as well. And it's funny because a lot of people quite often say to me, why do you do these pre-season tours? I tell you what, they're some of my favourite trips that I do, ever done. You meet people that you can call friends for life, and not only that, you see the place, you see all of the sights, and I have had the time of my life the last couple of days. It's been absolutely brilliant. So now, of course, on Tuesday it was a training session at the Kai Tak Stadium, and very impressed with Thomas Frank's communication, and also from his coaching staff as well. They were stopping play about every 5 to 10 minutes, talking to players. I've really noticed this during pre-season so far in the 4 games that we've played. Of course, I've gone to 3 of them because the other one was behind closed doors. But the communication level between the coaching staff and the players has been absolutely excellent. Thomas Frank and his coaching staff are constantly stopping play and constantly communicating with their players to say exactly what they are after, exactly what they want from them. And this includes the senior players as well, not just the youngsters, not just the development players. This includes a lot of the senior players like Christian Romero, like Son and co. Now, talking about Son, I haven't seen him smile very much in this pre-season so far, and it's going to be very interesting to see what Son we see now in Seoul, South Korea, in the next couple of days leading up to the Newcastle game on Sunday. The plan is, anyway, that Tottenham will have an open training session on Saturday, which is tomorrow, in front of the fans, and we know that Son is an absolute superstar in South Korea, and everyone absolutely loves him and adores him, and I just want to see Son smiling a little bit more. Nice to see him come on against Arsenal, and of course let's come on to that game, because I was very impressed by Thomas Frank, very impressed by the way that he set up in the game. I felt like we created so many chances, and that Luton game last Saturday, was disappointing because we only had 1 shot on target. We lacked a lot of creativity. We even lacked creativity in the training session in Hong Kong on Tuesday, and he actually finished 0-0, which is quite remarkable, because when I used to watch Ange Postecoglou's training sessions, they'd end up like 12-12, and Thomas Frank's one ended up 0-0, and of course we had a 0-0 draw away at Luton on Saturday. So I still feel that we do lack that little bit of creativity, but when we think about it, we've got players like Enquiries and James Maddison to come back in. I know Maddison had a couple of minutes right at the end of the Arsenal game. A fantastic goal from Sarr, obviously, great finish, but we were very threatening. Set pieces, that is a real improvement. under Thomas Frank in these 4 games that I've seen in pre-season so far, not only attacking set pieces but defending them as well. I just thought that we were really, really organised, very, very professional, and I can tell you now, I spoke to some Arsenal fans before this game, and they were very, very confident that they were going to beat Spurs. Some of them were even saying that we were going to get absolutely battered because they were confident about some of their summer signings so far. And some of them even pointed out the fact that we hadn't done much business in this transfer window. But yeah, the performance overall I thought was absolutely outstanding, and this is exactly what I want to see more of under Thomas Frank. And let's remember that he's 4 years at Brentford. He beat a lot of the top teams a lot of the time, and the way that we beat Arsenal last night, absolutely brilliant. And I want to see a lot more of this again. Let's talk a little bit about the captaincy, because Thomas Frank has said again that he hasn't chosen who's going to be the captain. A lot of people are expecting, a lot of people that I've spoke to in Hong Kong, a lot of people that I've spoken to that are from different countries around the world that have come to this game as well here in Hong Kong. A lot of people believe that it might be Heung-min Son's last game in a Spurs shirt, the one in Seoul on Sunday against Newcastle. Let's wait and see. But we have some good news. Fabrizio Romano and Sky Germany have just given the here we go, João Palhinha to Spurs on an initial loan deal for the 2025-2026 campaign, and Spurs have also secured a buy option at the end of the season for around 30 million euros. So I believe that this is the number 6 that we have been after for the last couple of years. A very experienced player, 30 years old. And, this hasn't been Tottenham's model, really, in the last year or two, signing a 30-year-old. But in my opinion, I feel like we need experienced players. We need a number 6. We need a ball-winning DM. And this is exactly, the type of player that we need in João Palhinha. He's got Premier League experience as well. And this seems to be a common theme in this transfer window, whether we've signed a player or whether we're interested in a player. They seem to have Premier League experience, which is a huge plus for me, a huge tick in the box. João Palhinha, of course, international with Portugal, got Premier League experience, and I believe that this is exactly the sort of player that we are after, and the exact type of player that fits in the Thomas Frank system, a very, very aggressive player. So yeah, very excited about João Palhinha coming in, and I genuinely believe that he will walk into the starting 11, as does Mohamed Kudus, and what a game he had as well against Arsenal. Another player I've been very, very impressed with. A number of West Ham fans have said to me, well, it's going to be about consistency. Of course it is, but the few games that he has played in pre-season so far, very, very impressed, and hopefully that can continue. And Thomas Frank also spoke out in the press conference after the game, beating Arsenal, about his defensive duties, and every single player, no matter what position you are in, has to take on their defensive duties extremely well. It is very, very important to this Thomas Frank system, and I completely agree with Thomas Frank. He's been very impressive, and done really well so far. So hopefully we will see more of that. Very impressed with Thomas Frank as well, because I went to a Ledley King Legends Night the other day at the Players Hotel, and Thomas Frank, he went to one event and he had a 5-10 minutes spare. So he actually said to the Spurs staff, no, I instead of finishing, let me go to the other event as well. So he actually surprised the fans by walking in to the Ledley King event, and spent 5-6 minutes there answering some questions by Paul Miles. It was led by the club, obviously, but it was a nice moment where he came in and said hello to all of the supporters who were at that event, which was really nice. Talking about supporters clubs, I tell you what, when I go on trips like this, it's so nice because you feel so welcome. You travel to countries like this, you don't know anyone, and you might bump into the odd person that you might know from England or from other trips that perhaps I've done in the past. But the Hong Kong supporters groups made me feel extremely welcome. Now, I'm absolutely delighted to say that this week we are the #1 football podcast in Hong Kong. So a lot of people come up and said hello, and they love the channel, they love the podcast, etc. So the love for the channel was absolutely sensational. So thank you so much for that. But if you are ever anywhere around the world, always get in touch with the supporters groups, because they are very welcoming, and they will always love to welcome in new fans to watch games with them, or meet up and just have a chat or have a drink. Normally they're done in pubs and clubs, etc. But they have been absolutely brilliant. So many thanks to them for the huge welcome that I received, and many thanks to all of the other people that come up to me and said hello. And we spoke about Spurs. Some were very quick chats, but some were long chats, and I enjoy every single one of them. And spending the last couple of days with James Black, if you've seen some of the videos that we've put out in the last couple of days, some of them have been very funny moments. I've really enjoyed my time with James. It's a shame, of course, that this game has come so quickly, because it would have been nice to have spent a few more days here, so we could have had a bit more of a laugh and seen more of the sights. But Hong Kong is definitely a place that I will visit again. But James is a top guy, and do check him out if you or do follow him on social media. He'll be absolutely delighted to get that follow and hear from you. And of course, legend at the football club, because all of the singing and the way that he gets the crowd going and bringing fans together, it's brilliant. It really is. And he was a big part of getting the Hong Kong supporters group to get me on that bus yesterday. Going through the streets of Hong Kong on that bus was fantastic. It really was. We went in the cable car earlier on the day, which I absolutely hated, and James found very funny. Trying to open the doors when we're so high up, knowing that I don't like heights. But when you look back, very, very funny moment. But going on that bus was absolutely brilliant. One of the best things actually in the last couple of days that I did. So let's talk about South Korea now, because of course we faced Newcastle. We want more of the same, of course we do. We don't want to have any negative performances or negative results, because in less than 2 weeks' time we'll be facing PSG, one of the best teams in the world, if not the best team in the world right now. They absolutely battered Inter Milan 5-0 in the Champions League final, so we know that is going to be a very, very difficult game. But lastly, let me just say a big thank you to everyone who I've spoken to. I've met so many different people in the last couple of days, people from all over the world: Australia, Bangladesh, India, Japan, Mongolia, China, people here of Hong Kong. There were some English fans that travelled out as well, and I know I've missed out loads, but brilliant, absolutely brilliant trip. I hope you've enjoyed the videos that we've put out in the last couple of days, and I'll be obviously in South Korea, training session tomorrow on Saturday, the game on Sunday, travelling home on Monday, and then of course next week we travel to Munich for our last pre-season friendly before we face PSG the following week in the Super Cup. So a busy couple of weeks coming up, and then of course the season starts. I think there's now 32 days left of the transfer window, so let's hope that Spurs get a few more signings in, experienced signings I would say as well, to help Thomas Frank, and who knows what we can achieve this season, as long as it is a positive season in Thomas Frank's first year in charge. So thanks for watching. I will see you in South Korea, and of course look out for the various updates I'll be posting in the next couple of days. I'm going to actually try and get a few hours sleep on this plane. I know it's only 3.5 hours in the air, but I've only had 2 hours sleep last night after recording the podcast, doing lots of editing, packing the bag, etc. 2 hours sleep. I don't even know how I am awake, and especially recording these types of videos, but I'm on a real high. Not only did we win a trophy last night, we beat our North London rivals, which is always great, and I've had the time of my life in the last couple of days here in Hong Kong. So I will upload this now, and I will start a fresh video when I arrive in South Korea in a couple of hours. So have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you soon. Come on, you Spurs.